Here's a quick walk around of my table. As you see up there, one thing I did was brought in two lines from outside. One's the inlet and the other one's the return, and that allows me to circulate the air within the booth I built with these welding curtains, and that keeps probably about 90% of the smoke and fumes and everything contained within this booth, and it works pretty well. Another thing I did is I 3D printed some mounts for the cables. I didn't like them hanging down below. They were getting splashed all the time and dirty and stuff, so I wanted to get them up out of the way. So I 3D printed those and then mounted them up there and got them out of the way. One of the other things that I did is I pulled the control box off the side of the machine. I didn't care for that setup at all. I know it works for some people if you're moving around, but for me, I didn't like that it was getting dirty and stuff and having to climb under the curtain to turn it on and off. So I relocated it to the wall there. I need to do a little bit of cable management there for sure. Another thing I did is I modified the cable on the box itself that goes to the plasma cutter, so it controls the THC and the torch on and off with one of the aviation connectors, which I think they should have used at the beginning, and then it just has one cable coming out of the back, which allows me to quickly move my plasma cutter if I ever need it. It's just hanging up there. It's hard to see, but it's just hanging up on a couple of hooks. Another thing I did is I 3D printed a mount in the back here for my hand torch, so I can quickly remove that. I did have the hose a lot nicer before hanging there, but I've since added the motor guard and I had to move it, so it's just kind of thrown up on the hook now. I also added the quick release here for my torch plug, so I can swap out between the hand torch and the machine torch with very little effort, and that just locks up in there. It's always ready to go. The next mod I did is I added the button on the front for the control panel for jogging. I was tired of having to go back to the laptop with dirty hands and things like that. So now basically all I need to do is jog from the control panel. And this also allows me to turn on and off my laser. And so the reason I added the laser was a couple of reasons. One thing is I use small pieces like this. Now when I need to square them up, I can just put the laser on there and square it up very quickly. What I do is I come in here and I'll Z off the X off of that, and then just come over here and then Z off the Y real quickly. You can also, I guess if you wanted to, you could square off. Say I wanted to square off that washer as my center point. I can square off on that, and as you can see, it gets pretty close enough for cutting on this machine, I believe, at least for everything I do. So this allows me to quickly just jog over, and say I'm cutting multiple pieces, I can jog over to the end and then zero it out again. And it makes it a lot faster for me. I've also added the splash guard for my Z. I was kept binding up on me in here when stuff would get built up on the wheels, so I just pulled it off one night and decided to make a cover for it. Last time I cleaned it, it covers the bottom completely and the top. This is just a piece of oven sheet, high temp oven sheet, and it blocks the spray from going inside, and it catches probably 99% of the stuff. And then I've added this torch mount. It slides on and off, so I can easily slide it off and disconnect it. And the last mod that I've done are the scrapers to clean the rails. I've always kept my rails pretty clean in the past, so I haven't had a lot of use on them yet. Still testing them out, see what design works well and what improvements I need to make. But overall, that's what I've done to my machine up to this point.